Welcome to the first video of what I'm calling the Kajabi first sales funnel tech setup. So basically, at this point, you either already have some templates that you're using for the pages and maybe the email copy too, and now you're ready to set some of it up or just get things started while you're trying to build everything else. Because let's be honest, funnels take a little bit of time to set up both the tech side and the copy side. So in this series, we're going to talk more about the tech version of it to let you know how to connect what piece and where it all goes, starting from waitlist all the way down to once they finally purchase. So let's dive in. Now, what we're going to do is start with forms. And the reason why we're starting with forms versus like connecting all the pages and the sequences is because most likely before you create a course, you want interest in your course. And the easiest way to gauge that is by having a waitlist page set up. And before you can have a waitlist page set up, you need a form to connect the page. So this is the first place I recommend you go. And we'll do the same thing for people who maybe if you don't want to do a wait list, you're doing a lead magnet or a webinar instead. So what you're going to do is go down to the dashboard, go under marketing tab under forms. You can see I have a lot because I use a lot of forms. But for anyone who has it brand new, you'll see this is pretty much barren for you, but they'll be at the top right, this new form button. So we're just going to click that. And the first thing you're going to see is title it. I recommend always titling it something that is very specific that you'll remember. You can always change it, especially if this is your first time using it. You're not going to have a lot of other examples in there. So if you want to call the name of your course waitlist or the name of your whatever it might be, you can add that in here. So I'll just put SW course waitlist and press save. Now in here, you'll notice a couple of things. There's a double opt-in and single opt-in. They recommend double opt-in, and I've tried before. Double opt-ins are okay, but they can lead to lower deliverability. Even though it says it helps like improve it, a lot of people sometimes will sign up for things and then not check their email after. So then it's been hours later and they were hoping to get that, a bonus or something in their email and it never came because they had a double opt-in. So if you can, I think single opt-in is easier and also just like better to use going forward. So what you'll notice, it automatically gives you the name and the email here. And you'll see if you tap that little thing here, it shows you the name, which is like what you could change this to if you wanted to, let's say instead of name, you wanted to put first name and then the type it is and it's required. So you'll see because I changed the name of it and it had to refresh, it now says first name. So you can change the name of like what it will look like to your people in the form. You can also add in other form fields. So if you were to do create a new form field, you'll have that title, which we just saw, so it was first name, but there's also different options. So for traditional waitlist form, you just really need the name and email. You don't need more, but if you want to do like one step above, you could create something like a checkbox or radio button. I recommend a radio button. And what this is kind of like a multiple choice. So for example, one of the things that I used to love doing is whenever people would sign up, I'd have the name and email and say, choose which type of like business owner you are. So that's where you could say, for me, I have people who are like e-commerce owners, coaches, course creators, local, etc. And that way they can choose. And that can be really supportive for you down the road whenever you need to know, like, okay, who were the majority of people who joined this. But if you feel like you don't need any extra information about your people right now for the waitlist, don't feel like you have to add that in. So right now you can just see the name and email. There's also the automation here. If you want to make your life a little bit easier, what I recommend is doing the automation and then having it add a tag. This is where down the road, when you start to send the emails, you'll be able to filter people based off of the tags that they're added to. So, and you can also filter it based off of the form they're submitted to. So sometimes I think it's nice to have extra tags. So if I were to do this, I would just call it SW Court, put that there and press save. This is also where if you were going to set up a waitlist email sequence, you could also from here, once they submit the form, have them subscribe to an email sequence immediately from the form, which is really nice because it makes your life a little bit easier. And then if you wanted to, you have these things, you could have it send a notification to your team, especially if it's you who's wanting to like just garner how much interest is going to be there. You could put in your name or your email and then make sure you press enter or return. That way it collects it. Also, you could have it go to a third party. So if you use something like ConvertKit or ActiveCampaign, you could have it collect there. And then they allow you to do it to a custom thank you page. But you can also do that on the pages. I want to show you on the page side what that looks like for that final piece. And then what I'm going to do is just press save. And then I'm gonna just show you what it looks like. So I'm gonna press on the top right this I. So it shows you the join the newsletter, but that's not really attached to the form. It just previews as that. You can see it has the first name here now, email, and then there. That's all we need right now. So I'm gonna go back, and if you want to, there is again the tab that says submission. So once people actually join, you'll be able to see who submitted and embedding. So in case you haven't built out your Kajabi pages yet, but you want to have it, let's say you have Squarespace or Wix site instead, you can embed this form. It's basically a piece of code. You would then add a block or add in the code where it makes sense for your page and have that on your Squarespace or Wix site while you build other things. You can see here also, you can have that join the newsletter copy be changed. If you do want to embed it, you can have that there, but it won't matter for us when we embed it on our page. So now that I showed you the form for that, final forms I want to show you that you can do that I probably recommend you do for your courses is going to be for the lead magnet form, and that's going to be a very similar thing. You would just title it for this, title it as the lead magnet name. You can do the same thing with the name and email and just have that form there. The other couple forms you could have it in an email funnel is for a thank you for purchasing form. So let's say they sign up and you want to use a form to like collect submissions for answering why did they buy. You can have that form here, or I'd recommend personally for that one to use the assessments. That's a little bit easier, and you can add it to your course to make it look like a lesson. But that's the main forms you would need is a waitlist form, the lead magnet, and you could do the same exact form for a webinar, same way. Use it for after why they buy form, and there's probably other instances like a contact form you can put on your website, but because we're doing your first funnel series, not your first website series, those are the main forms you would need. Mainly just your course waitlist and then your lead magnet or webinar form if you are planning on selling or like having them join through a like freebie, like a lead magnet PDF or a webinar workshop that way. Now from there, what you're going to do is go under website tab and go to landing pages. So under landing pages, I already have these waitlist pages up because they're templates that I created. You can actually buy them inside of the sales funnel template for Kajabi. But for you, this might look brand spanking new. So if you don't have any pages in here whatsoever, number one thing to note is before you can create any landing pages, you have to choose a website theme. So under design, you'll see how I have this here, how it already has chosen a website. You're going to have to make sure that you choose one of the templates for your website. What to note is that these are not going to actually be on your website. Like if you were to go to my danielleclem.com page, this is not what it looks like, but Kajabi needs you just to choose a website template to kind of like give you permission to be able to upload landing page templates going forward. So you'd have to make sure to choose that first. And then once you do that, go back over to landing pages. At this point, either you'll create a new landing page if you're going to create it from scratch for a course page, or if you have a template, you'll be able to use the waitlist page here. And what you're going to do is go under customize. And once it loads, it'll look like this editor. You'll see here, there's the form. This is not the form that I just created, because again, it's a brand new form. This is the form that I was just using to test. So what you would do, it'll look like this. It'll look like select a form to display. You'd go under here and you can just type the name for it. So ours was SW course waitlist. You'll see that here. And then what you'll notice is it says first name and email, showing you that was what we created last time. This button will just say subscribe. But again, if you have the template, this will auto load for you. So it makes your life a little bit easier. And then you'll see from here, the thank you page, you can take them to. So there's different thank you pages you can do. They give you multiple options. So once they were to join like the name and email, you can do 5 things. First thing you can do is have them go to a landing page. So I have like a blanket one that I use that's called TY products. One just says, thank you, your freebie is on its way. Or for you, it's like, thank you, the form submitted. And that's all it needs to be. So that's one landing page you can do. The other type of landing page you can do is to a tripwire page. That's an entirely different video, but in case you wanted to, after they join the course, get them like a offer for like a $7 or $20 program on like once they join the wait list, you could do that too, that they can see on that page. And you just create the tripwire page like a normal sales page and then link it here. So that's number one. Number two is it can go to a checkout page. I don't recommend that for this because it is a course waitlist form. Even for lead magnets and webinars, really the checkout page should really only be used, that option, on a sales page, because that's kind of like when it makes the most sense. Other thing is download a file. So let's say you were to say join the waitlist and you get like a free bonus PDF for like Doing that, you can press click a file and actually from your computer choose a PDF or MP4, whatever you want to use, and they will get that instantly downloaded on their computer or their phone when they join. That one's not used as often, but if you wanted to use it for the lead magnet, that would be an easy one to use it for. I still recommend trying to not use that one as much because you'd rather them go to their email to get used to looking for you in your email rather than downloading it immediately. This one, which is go to a URL, this one's okay. If you have, if you already have like a Squarespace or Wix site or WordPress site and you already have like a thank you page on there you want to link to, then you can just add in the URL here. Make sure to press save, and then you're good to go. And the fifth option is just don't put anything. And what'll happen is it'll just have it go to like a blank page that says your form has been submitted. It doesn't look as pretty, but it does offer that option. And then press save whenever you decide which way you want them to go. And then your form is fully set up. You have that there. And if you want to, like you'll see here, I have them both down here. You can use the same form on different points of the page, or if you wanted to like only have it be on one main part of the page, you could easily have the call to action buttons. Let's say you had more buttons here for like clicking. You could have it go to a certain part of the page and link it back here so it can just point to the main form no matter which button they choose on the page. And I have that in my sales page template as well to make it easier for you. And that is the forms. I know this is a quick and easy setup because I want to make sure that you are able to understand how it works. If you have any questions, let me know. But hopefully at this point you feel comfortable creating your first form, linking it to your page, and then having it then linked to the next step, which is that thank you page or tripwire page or wherever you want them to go next. And the next one, we'll go talk about the sales page setup in terms of like connecting it to the checkout page and also into how to then, after they join your forms, how to then get them to your email sequences, start receiving your emails.